Can you check it down? No? When I bought it for you this morning, was it reaching at the back? And you have one.
Okay, let's begin. Before we start, give me in my hand right now the name of the person you're teaching with and the style of class. Now, in my hand. Thank you. So just tear a piece from your notebook, put your names on it, and the type of, thank you so much, like this. Catherine.
Level is required here?
Dalia. You tell me.
Example is headstand is no beginner. Or,
No.
Or wheel.
No.
Okay, so Trikonasana is beginner for
Yeah, yeah, easy poses. Beginner means easy poses. Yeah, so you're going to do a modified wheel and maybe you're going to do dolphin, right? You're going to modify it.
But intermediate would be wheel.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think... So you can choose a beginner or intermediate style class. You need to tell me what level you're doing.
For the level, I didn't write it, but my partner is today in Silence Day. So
Okay.
is it okay to add it tomorrow?
Yeah, just message
Yeah.
me, okay?
Okay, yeah, just for the level.
If you've messaged me, write it again. Because I get 100 messages a day. So it probably got buried. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're writing down the class that we're doing and the name of our partner. Thank you. Put the level as well. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you.
Thank you. We're gonna have Vanessa for intermediate.
Awesome. Thank you. 9, 10, 11. 5 more groups need to submit. Thank you. You guys are 3, right? Yeah, awesome.
We didn't discuss which level. Can I add this later?
Yes, send me a message. Hatha Yoga Intermediate. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Vinyasa Flow Beginner. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yeah, then you'll do 30 minutes each. It will be a 90-minute class. Okay. Okay, so this evening I will create the schedule for Thursday. Okay, and you will know by then where you're going to be at the day and which shala you're going to be in. This evening, I will give the schedule for your teaching evaluation. So you will know what time you're going to teach, who will be your students, and that's it. So if anyone has any concerns or issues or things that you need to sort out with your partners, like what level you're going to teach at, please find a way to do so today. Okay? Otherwise, I'm going to assume you're intermediate. Okay? Okay. So today, most of the day, we're going to be talking about sequencing theory. So most of today, by the end of this day, you will already be able to have an idea of how to put a class together. And that information will be complete in the next 2 days. Nevertheless, you already have the parts of the class. And those of you doing set sequences like the Ashtanga sequence, you don't have to worry about this information. However, it's good to know and appreciate, because when you look at all these beautiful, really popular classes like Ashtanga Vyasa or even Bikram, you will understand them better once you learn about why things need to go when. Okay? So, for our first look at sequencing. So, a sequence is the order in which you put the asanas in your class. And organizing your class is important because each of the asanas does something specific to your body. Not only your physical body, you don't only have to take into consideration your physical body, but as well your energy body and your mind. Remember when we talked about the chakras and you found out that each chakra is stimulated by a certain group of asanas? So doesn't it make sense to sequentially open the body? Talk about pose and counter pose. Let's talk about that. So if our body is a building and we want to build our body from the ground up, we start with chakra 1 and we continue up the body. Chakra 6 is not there. And the reason why it's not there is there's no asana for the mind. Chakra 7 is there, but for most of your classes, you're going till 5. Okay, for most of our classes, we want to sequence properly at least till chakra 5. So let's recap what kinds of families of poses fit under these categories. Okay, so chakra 1, what kind of poses do we have here? Standing. How about chakra 2? What kind of poses under chakra 2? Hip openers. Chakra 3, which ones do we have? Twists. Twists and core. Chakra 4, what do we have there? Back bends. How about anyone remember chakra 5? Closing series Ashtanga. That means shoulder stand, halasana, fish. Shoulder bridge, shoulder stand, halasana, fish. Okay? Chakra 7, only one pose for chakra 7. Headstand. Okay. There's something missing. There's 2 things missing. Forward bends, when they're sitting and not standing, are a mix of 2 and 3. mostly here in 3. So you can put forward bends mostly in chakra 3. Arm balances are a mix between core and arms are attached to the heart. So arm balances are 3 and 4. Somewhere in between 3 and 4. So if you were to put an order based on the chakras of your activities in a yoga class, after the sun salutation, you do standing poses. And then you do hip openers. While you do hip openers, you might be doing some forward bends. And you also want to do after that some twists. You might do some other forward bends after the twists. Okay? Then after the twists, you're going to do back bends. In between the twists and the back bends, you might do some arm balances. Okay? Then you do your shoulder stand, halasana fish, then you do a headstand. And that would be progressing through the chakras with asana. From chakra 1 to chakra 7. Let's look at these pose families a little bit better. So, in the sequencing theory part of our manual, we have what is known as pose families. So, looking at sequencing theories, we are finished with parts of the class. Let's look at yoga pose families on page 64. Let's practice speaking with our teaching voice and read each yoga pose family. So who wants to stand up and read standing poses? Yes. Use your teaching voice. So people in the back, people online need to hear you.
Standing poses.
I'll stand next to you so they can actually hear you.
Give strength and circulation in the legs, energizing for the body, and energetically works on Muladhara in general.
Okay. So we want to do, thank you, standing poses first. They're working Muladhara. Okay, so we want to start working Muladhara in the start of the class. Connect with the earth. Start to work the legs because legs are needed later on, even when we're not standing anymore. Who wants to read hip openers? Yes, my dear.
Hip openers gives mobility and circulation in pelvis and groin area. Cooling for the body energetically works on Swadhisthana in general.
Okay, so standing poses are energizing. We'll learn about energizing poses later. So the next section of poses take you to the opposite energy that is cooling. And those are the hip openers. Give me an example of a hip opener. Anyone? Pigeon. Warrior 2 is a standing hip opener. Butterfly. Yeah. A lunge is considered a standing hip opener. Okay, so you're still working legs. So a warrior 2 or a lunge works chakra 1 and 2. Yogic squat, you're still standing. So chakra 1 and 2. Which is great. Everyone wants to work chakra 1 and 2. You hit 2 birds with 1 stone. And then later, after you finish with all the 1 and 2s, you go to the pure 2s. Understand how it works? So if you look at the primary series, that's exactly what's happening. You do the standing first. And then you go now, and you're not doing any 1s anymore because now you're not standing. Now we're sitting and we're doing other things. Okay? And after the hip openers comes forward bends, is it? Is that what's written down there? Okay, who wants to read the teacher voice? Thank you. Okay.
Gives calms the nervous system and opens up circulation and energy flow in the back of the body and energetically works the Swadhisthana and Manipura chakras.
Beautiful. Okay, so forward bend. Lots of great circulation in the back of the body. We forget about the back of the body, but you need to open up the back of the body because later on, 2 chakras from now, We're going to open the front of the body. And if the back of your body is not open, you don't have the leverage to contract those back muscles to do your back bends. So doing forward bends before the back bends is important. We don't do back bends after the sun salutation. Imagine if I said after sun salutation, okay, bow pose. How does it feel? It hurts. Why? Because you didn't prepare for it. How do you prepare for a back bend? Do a forward bend. And the twist, because twist circulates spinal fluid and mobilizes the joints of the spine. So now let's hear about twists. Who wants to read? Okay. Stand up and read about twists.
Twist gives detoxification effects and increased circulation in the spine and vital organs, energizing and heat producing for the body, and works the Manipura chakra.
Okay, beautiful. So not that later. But now twists heat up the body, which is really good if you're going to do your wheel. You need to be kind of warm. Imagine on a cold day if you wanted to do the wheel, how successful will you be? Unless you're super bendy, not so much. Okay, we need to maybe warm up a little bit more, or a lot. The back bends. So who wants to read about back bends? Yes. Come here to the front of the room and talk to everyone in your teacher voice. So we need to practice because in a few days, you all will be doing this.
Okay, back bends. Gives strength and circulation in the upper limb, energizing for the body and energetically works the Anahata chakra.
Beautiful. Okay, so very, very energizing. So we've climbed up the mountain of energizing and now we're at the top. Okay, back bends are a lot of calories spent and a lot of energy gained into your mind and body. Okay, we strapped the calorie counter on a yoga teacher and made her do workout. And we found that the top 3 poses that burn the most calories are vinyasa, back bends, and twists. So if you want to do weight loss yoga, you're going to do vinyasa, back bends, and twists. Forward bends make you gain weight. It's true. Standing poses make you gain weight. Muscles, but you will gain weight. Standing poses make you gain weight. Hip openers and forward bends make you gain weight. Twists, back bends, and vinyasa make you lose weight.
One addition here, muscles are heavier than fat.
Okay, yes, that's right. Doesn't matter what it is, you're gonna gain something. Okay, hopefully it's muscle. Okay, hopefully. But I'm sorry to say this, but it's true. Ashtanga Vinyasa practitioners are the skinniest yogis because of the vinyasa, the back bends, and the twists. That's all I have to say. And you need long arms to get into all the binds. So everyone without the long arms, they can quit. But the whole point is that your activities in yoga will determine the result of it. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything more than that. Okay, I'm on internet. Okay. So if you do more vinyasa, you do more twisted back bends, you're going to lose more weight. And maybe then later, if you want to gain weight, some people want to gain weight, and you gain good weight, do standing poses, hip openers, and forward bends. Okay? All right. Let's move on. The next pose family after the back bend is the inversion. Yes, my dear, come up and use your teacher voice. Okay? All right.
Inversions. Increases circulation in the head and neck, incredibly energizing. Exception is shoulder stand and works on various upper chakras. Anahata, Vashuddha, Sahasrara, depending on the pose, they are all different.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, different poses have different effects. Yes. Yes. Okay. So he's asking, is it true that going upside down slows the aging process, and how does it work? I will give you an explanation, not from a medical point of view, because I'm not a doctor. The explanation I'm going to give you is from the energy body, okay, and the traditional yogic science. We have the pineal gland in our brain, yes? Pineal gland produces substances, and one of those is DMT. Okay? DMT helps you to connect with higher awareness. When you connect with higher awareness, you receive energy from the higher self. This energy is like a bath of light and creative force for all your body's cells. You get a boost of super prana when you connect with your higher self. Okay? That's it. We call this, when the pineal gland produces DMT, we call this amrit. Amrit nectar. This amrit is what these yogis have been chasing for years, because not because it keeps you young, that's a side effect. Because it helps you connect with your higher self. Gives you a spiritual experience. And in order to get that spiritual experience, you need to stimulate the brain. In order to stimulate the brain, you need to have a lot of oxygen and circulation in your head. In order to get oxygen and circulation in your head, the best way to do that is to flip someone upside down for a certain period of time. You flip someone upside down for a certain period of time, gravity pulls all the blood in your body into your head, which opens up the circulation pathways in your brain. And if you did the meditation after going upside down, your chances of producing DMT are going to be higher. No, acro yoga became so popular because it looks cool. I used to teach acro yoga. But that being said, if you hang upside down, it opens your nadis like crazy. If you hang upside down enough, you come back high. That's a physical way to open. People have been hanging upside down for thousands of years. There are drawings of dudes hanging upside down from trees in order to get this effect. So this going down is not a new thing. You know where aerial yoga was invented? In Bali. Isn't that beautiful? They started playing with the hammocks. I learned aerial yoga from an Iyengar teacher named Karen Fink, and she used to hang out here. And the brand of equipment I represent is called Gravitonics, and they're a Bali company, and they produce hammock suspension systems from parachute material. One day I will teach it again, but right now I've parked it. But it's beautiful because hanging upside down opens your energy channels, and that's why yogis are training you to go upside down. All of this beautiful asana that we've been doing, aside from training you to sit in meditation for long periods of time, it's training you to go upside down so that you can open the channels of your brain. Yes?
I was wondering, is the classical handstand actually part of any yoga style? Because I'm
The
never
classical handstand,
it's always related somehow, but somehow never part.
handstand is really not a part of the classical yoga style until certain martial arts. See, there's a martial art from South India that has the handstand in it. And at some point in time, when Ashtanga Vinyasa came into the scene, they had mixed some of this martial art with yoga. The classical inversions in yoga are Pincha Mayurasana, the forearm stand. The headstand is very, very old. And the shoulder stand is also very, very old. But the handstand, technically, the handstand takes the place of Chaturanga, up dog, down dog in higher asana. The handstand is a counter pose of the standing pose. So technically, the handstand as an asana is no, not part of classical hatha yoga. But it doesn't really matter because now it is. Remember, yoga evolves. Maybe 400 or 500 of the poses that exist in modern day did not exist uh, 300 years ago. But that's not to say that we shouldn't do them. We should only limit ourselves to what they used to do before. Remember that yoga evolves to fit the times. And we should too. Okay? So, after the inversions, what do we do? Shavasana. Yes. Or meditation.
What time, uh, how can we recognize if it's enough if we are, for example, in the headstand? Do we get dizzy or
Okay, how do you know how long to stay in a headstand and how long is enough? Okay, let me give you the tolerance rates for a normal everyday human being that doesn't do yoga every day like Iyengar. For a normal human being in a normal class, 20 breaths or 2 minutes is the average time in any inversion. That's the average time of a normal human being who is like a sort of intermediate yoga practitioner. 2 minutes. In fact, it's even required and I would say required or suggested that anytime you go upside down, you should stay at least 2 minutes. Otherwise, you don't get the benefit. So if you're only staying 5 breaths in the shoulder stand, you've done nothing for you. Because it takes around a minute for your circulation to reverse and for you to get the benefits of going upside down. So 2 minutes or 20 breaths is the recommended time. However, once you become more experienced at going upside down, you can stay 5 minutes. You can stay 10 minutes. Usually, I recommend that you don't exceed 10 minutes because you can overdose on being upside down if you're not used to it. When you go upside down, you get a lot of fire in your system. And if you're not used to it, that can have an adverse effect. Most people can't stay 10 minutes anyway. You're going to get tired. Unless you're hanging in a suspension system. That being said, Iyengar used to hang for 30 minutes every day when he was like 80. Okay? Because he's Iyengar. Normal human beings don't stay more than 10 minutes. Okay. In any upside down. Do not exceed 10 minutes in a time. No, he was suspended over the floor. He wasn't touching the floor. He was hanging completely. Yeah.
When you're upside down, would you start mixing breathing techniques, or is it just
This is an advanced technique, but yes, you could. However, you must make sure that your brain channels are open. You don't eat any meat or any kind of tamasic food. And then you can incorporate certain brain breathing techniques. If you want to know what they are, you need to ask me privately. And I need to make sure that you're ready. Okay.
But the
Yeah.
main breathing is Ujjayi.
Ujjayi is the main breathing, yes. The main benefits of a shoulder stand. Shoulder stand is the queen of asanas because it has the most therapeutic benefits. You've got thyroid, gets balanced, immune system increases, your skin looks younger. Because it calms you down. It's cooling, it's relaxing. Also helps to decompress your legs. It brings energy into the vital organs, into the heart, and into the liver, and all the other vital organs of the body. But it keeps pressure out of the head. So head starts to feel more released. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. So now that we know how to sequence with the chakras, you have an idea now that there's a certain logical beauty on how to put your class together. And this logical beauty works with balancing ha and ta. Remember this? This is yang. and this is yin. This is the left brain, right body, and tha is right brain, left body. That's why it's called hatha, because we're trying to balance the energy within. This is fire, and this is water. Or the sun and the moon. Two different energy channels coming together in the center of you. And when they're completely balanced, they activate Shushumna, Kundalini Shakti, punches through you, and removes the stickers from your chakras for good. Not only in this life, but in the next lives too. So if you want to have the most incredibly amazing, the most lucky next life, you work on this life. Okay? All right. So, knowing that, we know that the idea of designing an amazingly awesome class is the idea of balance. So to design an amazingly awesome class, you need to think of balance. Therefore, if you do something really hot and sweaty, you also need to make sure that something approximately as cooling and calming appears in your class so that you can strike the balance. What if your class was like this? Just to say, okay? First, you hold all the warriors for 2 minutes each. Then you hold a plank for 2 minutes. Then after the plank, you hold a handstand for 2 minutes. Then you go into Parivrita Parsvakonasana for 2 minutes. And then after that, you do the wheel for 2 minutes. Then after that, you do a forearm stand for 2 minutes. Then after that, you do a headstand for 2 minutes. And then you stand up and you go home. How do you think that would feel? You'll be tired, and you know what? The next day, you're still going to be tired. And you won't be able to do what you needed to do that day. You think that's a good idea? If I did this every day for a year, you know what would happen to me? There's this disease called chronic fatigue syndrome. It's an autoimmune disease. You will burn yourself out. Understand? So, there's a reason why we need to be responsible with how we put our class together. Because we want balance. It's the only way we're going to be sane, happy, and healthy. Everything else is going to lead to more suffering. Okay? So, we have the theory of pose and counter pose. You are lucky if you get this talk, because not every YTT discusses sequencing. Because not every yoga teacher out there knows how to sequence. And that's why sometimes we go to some classes and we're like, wow, that class felt so good. And we go to other classes and we'd be like, something's missing. It's just not quite there. But you can't put your finger on it because you're not really in touch with your energy body. You don't really have an idea. You just feel that wasn't quite that good. And some teachers consistently, all their classes always feel so good, consistently. Why? Because they know how to sequence. Or they're doing a sequence that's been designed correctly. And you know what? They have more students. It's not a mistake. It's not luck. And it's not all the time marketing. Sometimes they just know what they're doing. And when you know what you're doing also, you have an advantage. Okay? So let's look at pose and counter pose. And this is the first of the sequencing theories that we're going to take up. Yes? Standing on one leg is still standing. Standing on your arms is still an arm balance. If it's a standing balance, sure, you can put tree pose in the beginning or eagle pose in the beginning. You're still standing. Okay? Still consider standing. If it's still, even if it's on one leg, it's still standing. Okay. All right. So, what is a counter pose? Has anyone heard of the word counter pose? Can someone stand up and with their teacher voice tell me what you think a counter pose is? Yes, my dear.
Okay, so counter pose, it's the opposing pose of the one you just did. So you are, if the first pose was expanding, now you're contracting the same muscles that you worked on the previous pose.
Beautiful. So she said that a counter pose is an opposing pose to what you just did. For example, if you've expanded certain muscle groups on the counter pose, you're contracting them. So it's basically counter pose is go the other way. So a counter pose goes the other way so that we can have balance. Okay? Let's read about pose and counter pose. Is it there or no? It's just written down. Okay. So when you go the other way, so you need to take note of this because it's not in the manual. Going the other way has many aspects. The first one, as was already mentioned, is muscle contraction versus stretch. So you need to work opposing muscle groups. Opposing muscle groups are ones that do the opposite job. For example of opposing muscle groups, we have our bicep and our tricep. When you contract the bicep, what is the tricep doing? Stretching. Yes. Right. So true. Just to plug, aerial yoga trains the biceps because the only way to bring the biceps into work is to pull down on something. And the reason why we don't do that in yoga is because there's nothing to pull down on because everything's done on the floor. But if we were in nature and we had trees to hang off of, to get up into the tree, you need to pull down to get into the tree. Okay, just saying. Okay. But it is true that if you want to keep yourself from injury, especially with the bicep tendon, you need to balance the muscles because the weaker this gets, the tighter this gets. And the tighter this gets, the looser this gets. And the looser this gets, the more prone to tendinitis you'll get. In fact, there's someone in this class with tendinitis, and I told them to do some bicep curls. I used to have tendinitis, and that's what cured me, bicep curls. Yeah, I used to go to the gym and curl biceps. And it helped relieve, and now it's not there anymore because I'm also doing chaturanga better now. Yeah, so it can go away. Okay, ice and bicep curls. Okay, right. So aside from the muscle contraction and the stretch, for example, when I bend forward, what is contracting? Is my hamstrings contracting when I bend forward? No, it's stretching. What's contracting? the quads, the pelvic floor, the abs, and if I look behind me, even my neck is contracting. What is stretching? The whole back compartment of the body. So if I counterpose, I need to stretch the front of my body and contract the back of my body. So what can I do? Any back bend, yes. Any back bend will stretch the front of your, if you do it correctly, will stretch the front of your body, means you need to feel the stretch somewhere here. And you'll feel the contraction somewhere here. Okay, that is a pose and a counter pose. So you're going the other way. But going the other way doesn't only mean muscles. Joint rotation is something else that you need to consider when you're going the other way. For example, this butterfly does what to your legs? What do we call this? What's happening in your thigh? It's a hip opener. Which way are we rotating? Externally or internally? This is external rotation of the femur. What if I just kept doing external rotation of the femur and all of my stretches were external rotation of the femur, external rotation of the femur, external rotation of the femur, external rotation? What if that's all I ever did? I would be walking like a duck. Which happens to ballet dancers because that's all they do is external rotation of the femur. So, you know, that's why it's so hard for them to, they keep spraining themselves in high heels because they're just not walking right. Okay? So, if I want to balance my body, and you know what that does to you? Makes your butt really tight, and it makes the inner knee hurt because when you walk like a duck, it rotates your lower leg. So, if I want to balance the body, what's the opposite of external rotation? Internal rotation. When I external rotate, I contract my butt. And if it gets really tight, I get piriformis injuries. I actually compress my lower back. So my chances of sciatica are higher. So now I need to internal rotate. Can anyone show me an internal rotation posture? Yes? Garudasana or Gomukhasana stretches your butt and contracts your inner thighs. And then we also have you done this in the primary series yet? Trianga Mukha Paschimottanasana or something like that. Janusirsasana. Trianga Mukha Janusirsasana. Okay. Right. So your leg is internally rotated. What is the pose before this? Ardha Padmasana. See the beauty of the sequence? External rotation followed by internal rotation. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You do one, you do the other. For example, sometimes I do this. I'll do Gomukhasana, and then after I'm done with Gomukhasana, I'll go into Upavishta. Do you have to do a counter pose right after the pose? No. But somewhere down the line, for example, I'm working my back bend and I need to really open starting from a gradual range. So first I will do a little baby cobra. But I won't counter pose yet because I'm not done. Then I'll go a little higher. Then I'll do the cobra. Then I'll do the bow. And then I will child's pose. So child's pose is the counter pose of all of the above. But I didn't do it like after each one because I wanted to keep working that back bend. So I waited until later to do the counter pose, which sometimes happens. Sometimes the counter pose is much later, but it's going to happen eventually. One thing I really want to talk about when it deals with muscle contractions is the answer to the reason why so many people are getting hamstring injuries because of yoga. And it's something for you to be responsible about when you write a class. If your class, because back bends are hard and some people don't really want to do them. How many of you agree with that statement? Back bends are hard, people really don't want to do them. Okay, so here's the deal. If you skip the back bends and you keep doing forward bends, what do you think that's going to do to your hamstrings? You're going to tear your hamstrings because you're not contracting them in the class ever. You're just stretching them all the time, never go the other way. So if you don't put in those back bends because people don't like them because they're hard, it's not going to be in the long run a good idea. Okay? Okay. Aside from joint rotation and muscle contraction, we also have something that you need to take into consideration also finally is effect of gravity. I'm doing a side plank. My right hand is on the floor and my left hand is up. Which side of me has more blood? The bottom one. Now I go the other way. So now, which side of me has more blood, do you think? The other side. Okay? Circulation. First one way, then the other way. I am standing. I do 5 standing poses. My legs are feeling the strain. Then I come and do a handstand. Now my legs are not feeling the strain. Okay? The effect of gravity. So those are the things to consider when you go the other way. Any questions so far? Yes.
For our personal practice, it's not so important to do it on all day the counterpart, but in that you have it
Yes,
balanced
it's
at the end of the
necessary
week.
to do it all day, yes. Yes, it's necessary.
Okay.
Because you can injure yourself if you don't counterpose. Because you're going to walk out of the yoga, something's loose and the corresponding muscle is tight, and that effect will remain.
Okay, so when we do, for example, back bend workshop, we have to make a
You
lot
have
of
to make sure that the
counterposes.
forward bends are in the workshop. Right? Yes. Well, I wouldn't want to judge. I wouldn't want to judge because sometimes it's not their fault. But I think what you should do for your own personal practice is make sure that you do back bends after those classes on your own. And when you design a class, put some back bends in it. The locust is a back bend. The bow pose is a back bend. You know, it doesn't have to be the wheel. And it doesn't have to be, the dancer's pose is a back bend. Upward dog is a back bend. The sphinx is a back bend. You understand me? So if those are there, that counts as a back bend. Yeah. Not really, because it's a side bend. Yes. You do have back bend. No, you need to hold it. You need to hold the pose. Yeah. Shoulder bridge. If you're doing a beginner easy class and you're thinking, well, none of the back bends are beginner friendly. Well, this one is. That's a back bend. Dancer's pose is a back bend. The cobra is a back bend. The sphinx pose is a back bend. Can do a half bow and just grab one leg, You can still do back bend. In a beginner class, take a block underneath of you and do fish. Do this one even. This is a back bend. Purvattanasana is a back bend. So it's not an excuse that is hard. Okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to break the class into two groups and we're going to play a game. It's called the pose and counter pose game. Okay, so I can see if you've absorbed. So let's just split the room. You can choose where you want to go. Everyone on this side, group A. Everyone on this side, group B. You can choose where you want to go. Middle people, you can choose where you want to go. Group B, group A. Okay, so group A and B get together and I will tell you what's going to happen to you. Okay. So everyone just get together in your groups. I'm going to move the camera to the middle of the room so that we can see all of the beautiful fun that's going to take place. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay. All right, so this is what's going to happen. Group A. Group A, you will stay here in this side of the room. Group A. Group B, you will be here on this side of the room. You have 1 minute to get to your group. Go. I will tell you what you're going to do. Just get into your groups first. Okay. Listen up. Can you see if you can see both groups or if the groups need to move? Can you see both groups? Okay. Guys, move over there. Move to that panel. Yeah, so you can be superstars. You see them both now? Yeah. Okay, awesome. Okay. So this is what's going to happen. We're going to play the pose and counter pose game, and this is how it goes. You need to talk to your group and come up with 3 poses that you think they will not be able to find the counter pose to. And then, when I call your group name, you're going to do the pose. And they have 10 seconds to get into the counter pose individually without talking to each other. If one person in the group, at least one person, is able to guess the counter pose, they are safe. If no one in the group is able to get counter pose, then you've scored a point. Got it? That's the pose and counter pose game. So everyone, talk to your group and try to come up with 3 poses that you think they will not find the counter pose.
What is the counter pose of the eagle pose?
That's for you guys to discuss. I'm not going to tell
No,
you.
it's a question.
Okay.
No, it's a question for me because I try to
Okay, let's analyze eagle pose. The eagle pose is an internal rotation of the thigh and it's a forward bend. So the opposite would be an external rotation of the thigh and a back bend. Okay? Okay. Oh, cool. It's good. Looks good. Okay, so I'm going to give you around 5 minutes to discuss with your group. I'm going to time you. 5 minutes starts now.
Just wondering. I don't know.
Okay, how many have you guys thought of already?
I think two.
Two? Okay, okay, okay. How many of you guys thought of already?
We've three.
Three, you've got your
Yeah.
three, okay, okay. All right, one more minute, and then we will start the game. Okay, time is up. So let's start. Okay, I will allow you to discuss again later. But first, let's see what you guys have. Okay, Group A. Group A, are you ready? Not yet? At least one pose. Yeah, do you have one pose? Okay, so let's go with the first pose, yeah? You can start. Well, they need to be ready if you guys are ready. No, 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 because your odds of surviving, if it's just you, is not much. We need to be even, yeah? Guys! Okay, let's go. I guarantee you're gonna need to discuss again, okay? Are you ready? Okay, let's have Group B start. So this is what's gonna happen. Group B is gonna throw down their pose. I'm gonna count you down. You have 10 seconds to come up with the counter pose individually and do it. If one of you gets it, your team is safe. Okay, ready? Group B, throw down your pose. Of course, duh. Do it. Okay, ready? 10, 9, do the counter pose. 8, 7, 6, what's the counter pose? 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, stop. Let's find out. If someone got it, they're safe. Wrong. Okay? Wrong. Wrong. Lunges? I don't understand. This is a counter pose right here. Do you understand? This is a complete counter pose because first the hands are on the ground and it's a forward bend. Now the hands are off the ground and the feet are on the ground and it's a backward bend. Another counter pose is the locust. Hands are off the ground and you're in a backward bend. The problem with the fish pose is this part isn't open. Yeah, so it's almost a counter pose. But I would have accepted that at least. You're going in the right direction. Anyone that has any kind of forward bend action with one or both legs, it's not a counter pose because you're still going the same way. That make sense? All right, so now Group A can retaliate. Group A, throw down your pose. Go. 10, 9, Tadasana. 8, 7, 6, 5. I hope someone gets it. 4, they're going to score a point. 3, 2. Okay, in the last minute, someone got it. The counter pose is a headstand. Sasha, you just saved your team. I thought they were going to go down. Handstand will be okay also.
But Savasana,
No.
no?
No, it's not. Effect of gravity on the body. Listen to me. Listen to me. You know what the counter pose of Shavasana is? I'm going to give it to you so you're going to change. This is Advasana. Okay. That would have been a good one, but now you can't use it. Okay. All right, so far both teams are safe. Let's go for round 2 of the counter pose game. Team B, are you ready? Throw down your pose. Ah, you just asked me this question. 10, 9, 8, 7, oh my God, 6, 5, someone's going to score a point. 4, 3, still someone's going to score a point. 2, okay. I'm sorry, Team A. I'm so sorry. Let's look at Eagle again. It's internal rotation. So most of you did external rotation, so it's half the story. But look at the position of the body. You're in flexion. So you need to be in extension. Camel pose? No, that's still flexion. What have I been making you do afterwards? Happy pose. Okay, what does happy pose do? Or even this, even Upavishta setup like this. Anything that has your legs not in internal rotation and your back going the other way. Dancer's pose, yeah, if you did dancer, it would have been great because you would have gone the other way with at least one leg. So if you're doing this, and then if you do that, you've just counterposed. You see how it works? I've just counterposed my groin. I counterposed my groin. Right? 1 point! Okay. Are you ready? You better bring down the best one. Ready? Okay. What do you want to do? You all know what you want to do? Okay, go. Both Navana. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, so they're learning. Yeah, any back bend. Yeah, good job. Okay. Good job. Yeah, any back bend. Anything that stretches the core because you contracted the core and you're going the other way. So yes. Let's now have 2-minute discussion before the final round. Okay, so you guys talk about, I'm going to give you a discussion before the final round. Now that we know what's really going on, let's have a talk. It's nice that we see on camera actually. Yeah, nice. Where's your phone? Take a photo and send it to Nord.
Okay, of how it looks.
Yeah. And then tell him for like future activities. Okay, I'm going to give you 1 more minute to think of something that you think they won't find the answer to. The more complex a pose is, the more complex counter pose will get. Okay, 30 seconds remaining. Five, four, three, two, time. Okay, let's find out what's going to happen. Okay, group B, are you ready? This is the final round. Group B, are you ready to throw down your pose? Yes. Go! It's the pigeon. Pigeon. Think about it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. It's a hard pose. Yeah, everyone stay where you are. Everyone stay where you are. It's a hard pose. Because it's an external rotation and an extension. So you need to do internal rotation and flexion, and one person saved your butt! Internal rotation and flexion. Okay, so Trianga Mukha Janu Sirsasana. Beautiful. That's hard. You gotta be nerdy to get that. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, so group A, are you ready? Okay, group A, throw down your pose. You go, aha. Okay, it's Marichasana C. 10, 9, Marichasana C. 8, 7, 6, 5. You don't have time to talk to each other. Just think independently. 4. Probabilities work better. 3. Statistics. 2. I'm trying to help you here. 1. Stop where you are. Okay, stop where you are. So let's look. Marichasana C. You have slight flexion with one foot. Little bit of internal rotation of the femur. Rotation the other way. So to go the other way, you needed to do external rotation and some sort of rotation going in the opposite direction. Patience. Okay, those are hard. And actually, no one really wins because we're yogis and egos are meant to be even. So no, there's no winner. There's no winner. Everyone's a winner because we learn from the experience. Sorry. Okay, so do you understand now the idea of pose and counter pose? Okay, yes. Yes. Yeah. Parsva Konasana. Go the other way. Because you're contracting. See, this is contracting, this is stretching. And you're going the other, yeah. So no way, it's completely opposite. And the arm is going to support? Yeah, so it's here, lots of pressure, no pressure, lots of pressure, no pressure. So move like that. You go the other way. So wouldn't the twisty and time would just be to go the other way as well? Not really. Because you're still in flexion. You want to, and you're still internal rotating, you want to external rotate. So if you really follow it and you want to go the other way, Like, for example, uh, sometimes I do this. Janasirsasana. Sometimes if I want to go the other way, I'll do this, and then I'll do that. I'm going the other way now. Understand? Think of how your body feels here. I'm opening this and I'm closing. So if I want to go the other way, my body will want to go the other way. Right? And that's a counter pose. You can have more than one counter pose. You might take two poses to counter pose one pose, and that's fine. There's not just a counter pose. There are many. So I'll show you wild thing. We will do this next. We will do this. I will show you. It's beautiful. We'll do this in 3 days. So this is Kamat Karasana, the wild thing. Right? If I want to go the other way, I'm going to do this. Okay, I've just gone the other way. So it's when you're into vinyasa flow, it's really beautiful to play with poses and explore them in your own body and how they feel, and to bring the opposite feeling to your body afterwards. How do you figure this out? You can use your brain and analyze, or you can just practice and let your intuition guide you. They're both going to lead down the same road. It's just the right or the left brain, which in any way, you're going to end up in the same place. Okay? So counter pose is going the other way. Okay? And you need to do the counter pose. Don't wait till next week, because by then you would have been injured already. So counter poses must happen. You've done a pose, you must do the counter pose. Don't wait till next class, because your body will feel it.
So half of my actual asanas is just already done by my first class. I mean, if I taking off the sun salutation, bombs, and whatever, the actual asana part, by logic, it's just half of it is already
Done. And then you do the, yeah. It's actually easier to put together a class than you think. When you know all the sequencing tools, it's super duper easy and fun to put together a class. It's like learning to color in a coloring book. Once you know how to use the crayons, it's super fun. Okay? It doesn't have to be directly after. The counter pose might happen later, or it might happen now. But it should be in the class somewhere. Okay? Sometimes, sometimes the pose will come way before, but sometimes they're right next to each other, like Paschimottanasana, Purvottanasana. They're next to each other. Tadasana, first part of class. Sirsasana, end of class. Those are two examples of how sometimes a counter pose comes right next to it, sometimes it's happening later. Yes?
We're putting our sequence together with our partner and say, I don't have the counter pose in the first half. Can she finish it and do the counter pose in the second
Yes,
half?
of course. Yeah, so when you're doing your exam sequence with your partner, you've designed the class together, and that's important. And I'm going to look at that and I'm going to take that into account. And if I have a questions with the sequence, both of you are going to suffer the consequences of not having a good sequence, not just one person. Okay? All right, because you're writing it together. Okay. So I think it's 1 o'clock now, yes? So we're going to break. I think. What time is it? What time is it? 1. Okay. Right. See you after lunch. Yeah.
My partner came for lunch. Who do I pay?